Welcome back to another video, ladies and gentlemen. Today we have a good one. Could Smaug or the Balrog of Moria have mastered the One Ring? There were two times in the books when very powerful beings of evil were in close contact with the ring. Bilbo's conversation with Smaug, and during the confrontation with the Balrog in Moria. What could have happened if one of them gained possession of the ring? Could they quickly depose Sauron and supplant him? Let's dive into this intriguing what-if scenario. Before addressing the hypothetical situations with Smaug and the Balrog, it's worth noting an often overlooked moment of peril involving the ring. In many meetings from the Fellowship of the Ring, Gandalf remarks to Frodo about his encounter with a Barrow-wight. "What happened at the ford?" said Frodo. "It all seemed so dim somehow, and it still does." "Yes, it would. You were beginning to fade," answered Gandalf. "The wound was overcoming you at last. A few more hours and you would have been beyond our aid. But you have some strength in you, my dear hobbit, as you showed in the Barrow. That was touch and go, perhaps the most dangerous moment of all. I wish you could have held out at Weathertop." Gandalf's comment highlights the danger Frodo faced from the Barrow-wight, which he described as the most dangerous moment of all, before they even reached Moria. Smaug and the One Ring, deep within the Lonely Mountain, Smaug lay on his bed of stolen gold. His great red eyes flickered open as Bilbo Baggins, the hobbit burglar, dared to speak. In their tense conversation, the One Ring remained hidden in Bilbo's pocket, unseen by the dragon but perilously close. What if Smaug had discovered it? Smaug, as depicted in The Hobbit, is a cunning and malevolent dragon. Dragons in Tolkien's legendarium are creatures of destruction and greed, created by Morgoth. They have immense power and intelligence, but they are fundamentally selfish and chaotic beings. Smaug's psychology can be understood through the story of Glaurung, the first dragon, from the Silmarillion. Glaurung was manipulative, cunning, and subservient to Morgoth, suggesting a deep inherent evil aligned with their creator's will. However, Smaug's direct connection to Sauron is tenuous. When Gandalf says in Durin's Folk that the dragon Sauron might use with terrible effect, it implies potential use but not direct control. Smaug's primary motivations are greed and domination rather than structured malevolence like Sauron's. If Smaug had obtained the One Ring, several outcomes are possible: madness and destruction. The One Ring could drive Smaug mad, similar to how the Silmaril drove Karkaroth mad. This madness would likely exacerbate Smaug's destructive tendencies, making him an even greater threat to Middle-earth. The dragon's inherent greed would make him an unstable ring-bearer, amplifying his already insatiable lust for wealth and power. Swallowing the ring. If Smaug attempted to swallow the ring, he might not gain its power in any meaningful way. Instead, he could become tormented by the ring's malevolent influence. In this maddened state, Smaug might be driven towards Mordor, inadvertently delivering the ring back to Sauron. The ring's will would dominate even the dragon's fierce independence, leading him like a puppet. Failing to utilize the ring's power, Smaug, being fundamentally a creature of raw power and greed, might lack the necessary cunning to master the ring's full potential. The ring's influence could still corrupt and control him, making him a puppet of Sauron rather than a rival. Smaug's raw power, while immense, is no match for the ring's subtle and pervasive malevolence. The Balrog of Moria and the One Ring. Far beneath the misty mountains, in the dark halls of Khazad-dûm, the Fellowship encountered a terror older than the world itself. The Balrog of Moria, also known as Durin's Bane, a being of fire and shadow, met Gandalf on the bridge of Khazad-dûm. The One Ring was again perilously close. What if the Balrog had seized it? The Balrogs, unlike dragons, were once Ainur, fallen from grace to become servants of Morgoth. The Balrog of Moria, also known as Durin's Bane, is a powerful and ancient being, significantly more formidable than Smaug. The Balrog's origin as a Maya gives it a level of intelligence and malice that surpasses most other creatures in Middle-earth. If the Balrog had seized the One Ring, several outcomes are possible, wielding the ring's power. The Balrog, as a Maya, possesses a greater understanding of the ring's potential. It might be able to wield the ring's power more effectively than Smaug. The Balrog's inherent malevolence and ancient wisdom could allow it to utilize the ring in ways that Smaug never could. However, the ring's inherent malevolence would still pose a challenge. Challenging Sauron. If the Balrog managed to control the ring, it could become a formidable rival to Sauron. The Balrog's intrinsic connection to Morgoth and its understanding of domination and control could enable it to mount a serious challenge to Sauron's supremacy. The ensuing battle between two ancient powers, each vying for control, could plunge Middle-earth into an even deeper darkness. However, this confrontation would be uncertain, as the ring might manipulate the Balrog to serve Sauron's purposes instead. Manipulation by the ring. The One Ring has a will of its own and seeks to return to its master. Even if the Balrog initially succeeded in mastering the ring could subtly influence and manipulate the Balrog, ultimately steering it towards actions that benefit Sauron. The ring's malevolent influence might prove too strong for the Balrog to resist in the long run. The dark fire of the Balrog might find itself ensnared in the ring's insidious web, becoming a tool for Sauron's resurgence. Conclusion. If either Smaug or the Balrog had obtained the One Ring, the results would vary significantly. Smaug, likely driven mad by the ring, Smaug would not master it. Instead, his madness could lead him to Sauron, inadvertently returning the ring to its master. The dragon's greed and chaotic nature would make him an unstable ring-bearer, easily manipulated by the ring's will. Balrog. Possessing greater intelligence and malevolence, the Balrog might attempt to use the ring to challenge Sauron. However, the inherent power struggle would likely end with the ring manipulating the Balrog, ultimately serving Sauron's will. The ancient Maya's desire for domination would be turned against it by the ring's cunning. In both scenarios, the One Ring's nature ensures its return to Sauron, highlighting the ring's malevolent intent to reunite with its creator. Thus, despite their immense power, neither Smaug nor the Balrog could ultimately supplant Sauron as the Dark Lord. If you have enjoyed this content and want to hear more topics like this, please drop a like and subscribe. I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.